Put your hands together for Billy Joe Gillespie.
Like they said, timing is everything in comedy. I quit my job and went full-time comedian in December of 2019. Whoops. That's how I became a landscaper. And the town where I live is so white that being gay makes me the diversity hire. People cruise past my coworkers and then they slow down and stare at me. I think the ones that stop to talk are trying to make sure it's not a child labor situation. I have gone back to full-time comedian, being on the road while keeping that job, and I went on a great tour last year. You know you have booked yourself in a sketch area when you get there and somebody has stole the wheels off the food truck. I will never forget Albuquerque. I forgot what monsters toddlers are until that tour, and I spent time with one. But it does not matter how out of reach you think you have it, how buried you think it is, they're gonna get their little syrup-covered fingers on it. We heard these squeals of delight. Looked up, she's running down the hall like a conquering hero. Her sword was my dildo. Reminded me of how all it takes for the older kids in the house to get away with anything is for there to be a toddler in the house. It does not matter what you catch them with. Money out of mom's purse, grandma's pills, half a dad's arsenal. It don't matter. As soon as you say, where did you get this? And they say, I took it from the baby. That kid went from future felon to instant hero. My older siblings were great at blame the baby. My brother was 8 years old when he snuck a beer. He came to his senses. He didn't drink it, but he couldn't sneak it back because then he might get caught. So he gave it to the baby. My mom did not respond too well to having a drunk toddler. Next time I saw my dad have a beer was my high school graduation. They were taking no chances. I told that joke in Lafayette, Louisiana last year. Come off the stage and they were like, we told you not to talk about anything that's illegal here that might be legal there. It's like, man, I didn't talk about weed or mushrooms, and those are my favorite subjects. Dildos? Wait, dildos are illegal down here? That explains some shit. It explains a lot of shit, but specifically, living in Colorado, we could tell which tourists are from prohibition states. Because the first place they want to go is the weed shops. Tourists from Texas and Louisiana, the first place they want to go is the sex shops. Then the dispensary. I can imagine their surprise when they find lube at the dispensary. I had a lot of fun on that tour. I really did. I had the fun of headlining a gay comedy festival in Pensacola Beach, Florida on Memorial Day weekend. So we have all our pride flags, our bi flags, our trans flags, and then we have a whole bunch of Southerners who came to the beach to celebrate their heritage. And they brought their flags. And as I looked at all that mismatch down the beach, all I could say is, God hates flags. I saw the best thing, though, there in the beach traffic, as I see this big jacked up truck with the Trump flag in the back and everything being just circled by 3 little cars with drag queens in them. They were so little, they made shrine cars look like stretch limos. And just about the time that this guy has had enough and he rolls down the window to yell, one of them had this great hook. Best glitter bombing ever. Every time he tries to vacuum out his truck, love wins again. I got pulled over in St. Louis, guys, and I was walking, not carrying a cash register either, just walking. And as this cop is trying to play hard ass, and he's like, "Where do you live?" In Colorado. Kind of had the attitude of, "Don't fuck with the tourists." And, "Well, what are you doing here?" "I'm here for a work conference." "Which one?" Okay, now I have to explain a comedy festival is a work conference. and I did not give him my ID, but I did give him my business card and tell him, check out my YouTube channel. Yeah, and as the conversation's winding down, he's got my smile smiling back at me. He's like, "I'm going to check this as soon as I get to the office. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe." Now he believes I'm a comedian. The night before the last show on my tour, I had the privilege of hanging out with some of my cousins that I grew up with. And I told one of them, I can't wait to get back to Boulder where people will lovingly remind me that I ain't shit. The universe heard that, request answered. My first contract back, I'm cleaning up the lawn of the homeless shelter, and my machine goes down. By the time I can get it fixed back up and running, one of the employees comes out and, "Everything okay?" "Yeah, everything's great." "And well, move along now." "Huh? Move along?" "Nothing reminds you ain't shit like being reminded to move along at the homeless shelter." I do love Boulder. It is the worst dressed city in America, which means no matter how tore up I look when I leave the house, I am the best dressed one there. That is great for the ego. It's also a free the nipple city, which means topless is legal. Hell yeah, that is a lesbian's dream. Then I saw it. Based on what I've seen, there's some things we need to check before going topless. Like, do the headlights still work? Are my breasts best described by cup size or length? And am I closer to a six-pack or a baker's dozen? Notice I was not gender specific. Please, everybody ask yourselves those questions. Thank you, Sioux Falls. I'm Billy Joe Gillespie. Have a great night.